The night air in this city always has a kind of weight to it, you know? Especially when you're a rideshare driver like me. You become a collector of stories, a ferryman for souls from one part of town to another. Most nights are the same. Drunk college kids, tired office workers, tourists seeing the sights. But then there was that one week. The week that changed everything. It started subtly. I'd just upgraded my dash cam, one of those fancy ones that records inside and out. I review my footage at the end of each week, mostly for security, but also just to see if I missed any funny moments. That's when I first saw it. It was a Saturday night after a long shift. I was fast-forwarding through hours of footage when I paused on a particular ride. The passenger I'd dropped off near the old Greenwood Cemetery was gone, but something was still there. In the passenger seat, there was a smudge on the video, a dark, faint impression, like a heat haze or a lens flare. I cleaned the lens, figured it was just a glitch in the new camera, and forgot about it. The next night I had another fare to the same area, a quiet woman who didn't say a word the whole trip. Later, reviewing the footage, I saw it again, the smudge. Only this time it seemed darker, more defined. It wasn't a glitch. It had a shape, a vague human-like outline. A cold dread started to prickle at the back of my neck. I replayed the clip. The passenger gets out, the door closes, and then, for a split second before I drive off, the shadow forms in the empty seat. It was like someone was sitting right there, just out of focus. I tried to rationalize it. A trick of the light from the street lamps around the cemetery, a reflection, anything. But my mind kept replaying the image, the way it just appeared, from nothing. I started to get jumpy on my shifts. Every time I had an empty passenger seat, my eyes would dart over to it, then to the little screen on my dash cam, expecting to see something. The empty leather just stared back. The third time it happened was on a Tuesday. It was a drizzly, miserable night. I got a ping for a pickup at a bar not far from Greenwood, a guy who'd had a few too many but was friendly enough. We talked about sports, the weather, the usual. The whole time I felt this strange chill in the car that the heater couldn't seem to touch. After I dropped him off, I couldn't wait. I pulled over, my heart hammering against my ribs, and checked the footage on my phone. And there it was. The shadow. But it wasn't just a smudge anymore. It was unmistakably the silhouette of a person. A person sitting perfectly still, their head slightly tilted. The details were still blurry, like looking through frosted glass, but there was no denying it was a figure. I could almost make out the curve of a shoulder, the shape of a head. I felt a wave of nausea. This thing, whatever it was becoming clearer. It was growing stronger, and it was tied to that cemetery. I should have stopped driving. I should have thrown the camera in a river and never looked back. But I couldn't. It was like a morbid curiosity had taken hold. A need to know what this thing was. I avoided all rides near Greenwood for the next 2 days. The footage was normal. No shadows, no cold spots. Just me and my passengers. I started to think maybe I was going crazy, that the late nights were getting to me. Then Friday came. A lucrative fare popped up. A long-distance trip starting just a block away from the cemetery gates. The money was too good to pass up. My rational mind told me it was just a coincidence, just a location. My gut was screaming at me to decline. I hesitated, my thumb hovering over the accept button, but I needed the cash. I accepted the ride. The passenger was a young woman, a student heading home for the weekend. She was cheerful, talking about her plans, completely oblivious to the icy fear that was gripping me. The entire drive to her pickup location, I felt like I was being watched. The air in the car was thick, heavy. When she got in, the feeling lessened, and for a while the ride was normal. We were miles away from the cemetery, heading out of the city. I started to relax. Maybe I had been imagining it all. After I dropped her off, I had a long, empty drive back into the city. For the first hour, everything was fine. Then I passed a sign for a historical landmark, an old, forgotten church with a small graveyard. A graveyard. The cold returned instantly, seeping into the car, into my bones. My eyes flicked to the passenger seat. It was empty. But when I glanced at my dashcam monitor, my blood ran cold. It was there, clear as day. No longer a shadow or a silhouette. It was a person, a man. He was pale, almost translucent, wearing what looked like an old-fashioned suit. His face was turned towards me, but his features were indistinct, blurred, as if he had no face at all, just smooth, pale skin. His hands were resting in his lap, and he was just sitting there, watching me. I slammed on the brakes. The car screeched to a halt on the shoulder of the empty highway. I was hyperventilating, my hands shaking so badly I could barely unbuckle my seatbelt. I threw the car door open and stumbled out into the night, gasping for air. I looked back into the car. The passenger seat was empty. I looked at the dash cam screen. The figure was still there, sitting calmly, its featureless face aimed right at me. I ripped the camera from its mount, my hands fumbling. I didn't even turn it off. I just threw it as far as I could into the darkness of the field beside the road. I heard it clatter somewhere in the tall grass. I jumped back in my car, slammed the door, and drove. I didn't stop until I saw the first signs of my neighborhood, the familiar streetlights, a welcome beacon in the suffocating darkness. I didn't drive for a week. I couldn't even look at my car. When I finally forced myself to clean it out, I found something on the floor of the passenger side. It was a small, old silver coin, tarnished and worn, with a date I couldn't quite make out. It must have fallen out of a passenger's pocket, I told myself. It had to have. I still drive for a living, I have to. But I don't have a dash cam anymore, and I never, ever accept a ride that takes me anywhere near Greenwood Cemetery. Sometimes, on late nights when the car is quiet and the streets are empty, I feel it. A sudden drop in temperature, the feeling of being watched. And I'll glance over at the passenger seat. It's always empty. But I can't shake the feeling that if I had a camera, it wouldn't be. I feel like I picked something up that night, something that's still waiting for a ride. And I'm terrified that one day, I'll look in the rearview mirror and I won't be alone. Thanks for listening to my story. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe for more. Stay safe out there.